Wow! Welcome to STEPOUT SME Focus. This is where we interview young people on the continent of Africa doing amazingly well when it comes to business. And tonight, the spotlight is on Zeepay Ghana Limited, a fintech company based in Ghana doing amazingly well. Actually, it promises to be the next unicorn when it comes to fintech in Africa. We are going to take you on a ride inside on what they do on a daily basis. Don't change the dial on us. It's really going to be an interesting discussion. Welcome to STEPOUT SME Focus. And Andrew, it's been a privilege to interview you today. I know this is not the first time I've interviewed you, but this one is a special one based on Zeepay moving to their new ultra-modern Zeepay campus. And we are here to know more about you. I know a lot of people are yearning to know, they want to have a piece of who Andrew is, and that is what we are here for. So welcome to the STEPOUT SME Focus.
Thank you, Oscar. I'm delighted to be here.
Wow.
And let's see how the night goes.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Andrew, there's one question somebody really wanted me to ask you, and I want to start with that question. Okay. And that question is that, did you really start your business from your bedroom?
I think I'm more than starting from my bedroom. So I'm just trying to remember. So in 2013 is when I started to put it all together. The servers were initially downstairs. I had just one blade server, by the way, and it was downstairs. And I had a baby at the time. Andrew was about, I think, 1 year old, if I'm correct. So it wasn't working. This young man is always going to touch these buttons. And of course, in my house is not a place people come. So I wasn't worried about people coming in. So we moved it to the guest room.
Wow.
So it was in my guest room.
So that is where Zeepay was birthed.
It was a guest room business.
Wow.
But it's quite classic though. I remember so well that for the first time when I was able to get money to move my server to Ostek, I was running late in traffic, and Peggy, my account manager, had said, Andrew, if you don't get here by 6, I'll shut down. Wow. And I had to go to work, so I had to leave work at 5, come to Cantonment, pick it up, and drive through the circle traffic to Ostek. Wow. So in the midst of the journey, I had to get a policeman with a bike who actually took me down there in time. So the common joke at Ostek was that the special server, the blade server that the police actually brought to them, took it. Wow. So that's how I took my server down there.
Wow. Because the reason why I'm asking you that question is that sometimes if you get to a level of your success and people try to bring that rhetoric in terms of, oh, I started my business in my guest room, I started my business small, people don't really seem to get it. But I feel it's more of an inspiration, isn't it?
Well, I don't know how you see it. I guess it's subjective, but I mean, quite frankly, it's hard to believe that a business that shares over $500 million in turnover will start from a bedroom. So it's hard to believe. I rightly so, I think I'm a classic story. So this is how I started. I can give you stories where people didn't start that way. I always tell my wife that my wife owns an activity center called Jamboree, where children go to have fun. And I always tell her that she's blessed because she built a building and started with human beings and started. Yes. We didn't have that.
No.
So it's I guess it's subjective, but that's our story. We started from a bedroom.
Well, because the STEPOUT SME Focus is more focused on young people. You know, and we are trying to interview young people like yourself who is doing amazingly well. Now, when it comes to starting a business, you started from the scratch. But a lot of people don't want to start from the scratch, because I do a lot of speaking engagements. And what I always hear people say is that I don't have enough resources, especially money. Do you think that should be an obstacle to starting a business?
Well, it's such a cliche for people out there. Because people like me always say you don't need money to start. I will say that from hindsight and experience. And I'll give you a classic story. But when I was starting Zeepay, it was my latter years of my duty bank. I was wrapping up my project. Obviously, at the time, my employer knew what I was trying to do. I even ended up releasing a license from my employer at some point. But also, guys, it's an emotional one. So, look, I used to fly. I remember there was a flight to SA that left at 9:30 p.m. and we'll get to South Africa, Joburg, I think by 5:36. And I would have to get into town, Santon. So I would always go on the train and be able to finish my meeting and catch that same flight that leaves about 1:30, 2:34.
Wow.
But if you stand outside, you think I'm doing well. But it's because I could only afford the flight.
I understand.
I could only afford the flights, basically.
Yes.
I can't do the hotel,
No.
and I can't do the night in the hotel.
Wow.
So then it made sense to just quickly get in, do what I got to do, and come out. I traveled the world looking for money. I didn't find it. Everything I needed to start, I found it at home. Wow. So I don't think you need money. I think you need a product. But above all, you need a belief system. You need maybe when I say belief system, people don't understand. What you need is you need to convince yourself that it's going to work, and you need to behave like the Hebrew boys. Even if the Hebrew God does not appear, they will not bow.
Yes.
You must stand for something.
Yes.
And you must make a decision that there's only one plan. Then you stick to a plan. But the moment there's an alternative, the alternative will become the main plan.
Wow. 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 So you shouldn't have plan B.
No. That's what we mean by you create a belief system.
Wow.
You test, you resolve. You say, okay, this is not working, but I'll make it work. At the end of the day, quite frankly, no startup takes 5.0 to market. You take 1.0 to market. Everybody knows it's a 1.0. Everybody knows there'll be failures.
Yes.
What matters is that you keep building. You stay focused.
Wow.
So I don't think that you need money to start. I think you need a belief system, which is your product. Look, we won an award before we went to market. I remember so well that we won as a startup in 2016. We won Apps Africa, I think. We won an award. Yeah, the Outstanding Newcomer award, just from our beta testing.
Wow.
Because we're out there, we're pushing the brand,
Wow.
we're pushing the product. At the time, we're not even getting market yet. So you just have to believe it. You must know what you're doing and where you're going, and then you must stay focused.
So in other words, what you are trying to say is that whatever you don't have, somebody has it. So you need to really connect yourself. And you made a statement that you went into the world chasing for money, but you got the money at home.
Yeah.
Meaning that whatever business a young person wants to start, they can connect with the right people here in Ghana, right?
Yes, I believe that. The only challenge us guys, a lot of time, we don't understand the concept of partnerships and collaboration. Sometimes don't make a premium, make a margin.
Okay.
Don't make a premium, i.e. don't take all the revenue. Make a margin, share it with somebody, but you will grow. Build your own balance sheet. Tomorrow, you come back and have it for yourself. It's a volume business. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of time the mistake, and all of us, our biggest mistake is that we want it for ourselves. Our biggest mistake is that we cannot see the end. So that now that we see, we are thinking that $100, how am I going to give you $40 and take only 60?
Wow.
But you know what? Don't worry. Give them 40, take 60.
Yes.
It means you get 600.
Yes.
You get 600,000.
Yes.
You get 6 million.
Yes.
And a time will come when you scale, you will not need them. That's why scale factor is necessary. Look, let me show you. If I had a pen, I'll show you this actually. It's a simple principle actually. For every startup, the day you make money, raise money is here. This is what we call the value of death.
Okay.
You raise money, you start testing, you start spending, the money is finished.
Yes.
Nothing is coming through. You owe your suppliers. Demand letters start coming through. And one breakthrough product customer comes through. You are scaling. And you think you've scaled, but you've not.
You have not. You're still in the valley of death.
Then you stay the course, you push, then the skill starts. At the point of skill, that $60, $40 you shared with the guy, it doesn't matter anymore. Because at the point of skill, this is $6 million.
Yes. Yes, it has increased in number and in value.
It's a cardinal principle. We need to understand that. But a lot of time, like I said, we want premium.
Yes.
Rather than nickels and dimes.
Wow.
We don't understand skill, and rightly so. It's tough. It's a tough world out there. You've struggled. You've hassled to even get some kind of proof of concept on the market. Now you have to share with somebody. But those collaborations and partnerships will give you the results we need.
Wow. So in a nutshell, why do we find it difficult to partner, especially when it comes to Africans?
Well, I won't say Africans. I just think that sometimes the reason we fear to partner, there are many reasons. One of them obviously is the fear that we might lose our IP to somebody, because unfortunately it's an unfortunate world we're living in.
Yes.
People will take what you have and make it their own. But I also believe something. If you come in to solve a problem, and you genuinely seek to solve the problem of mankind, what happens is that you start to own that IP. You live it. You speak it, you sleep it,
yes.
You die that IP.
Yes.
It becomes your second nature.
Yes.
It's so much you that the world recognizes as your IP. And at that point, people cannot replicate it.
Yes.
They can replicate semblance of it, but not the core.
Yes. You own it.
You own it.
Yes.
At that point, that's what we mean by the belief system. There's a whole belief system and structure around it that is yours. When you talk about it, it's so simple.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean? But yet it's so difficult for the guy next door. It's just because you've held on to the IP. You've built it in. Do you understand?
Yes.
The other reason why we probably don't collaborate, obviously, is, I guess, the idea of not wanting to share because of the premium. I encourage everybody out there, for us, we've grown by collaboration and partnerships. I tell you, the first time I went to Barcelona, my whole life, I was in Barcelona for maybe an hour and a half.
Wow.
That's all I could afford to. I was closing with my biggest client. There's a big event, we call it the GSME. So there's also a lot of trade shows in my industry. You got to attend the trade shows. My client goes, "Oh, are you going to be at GSME?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." Bro, I can't even afford to be at Barcelona, you know what I mean? But I need to close the deal. So I go to Barcelona. Barcelona, you can't stay in Barcelona at night. It's expensive.
It's very expensive, yes.
I get off the bus, I get off the airport plane, I take a bus, I get to the stand, I go to the exhibition hall, I call my client, he buys me lunch, we hang around, and now I'm a bit tired, I'm gonna go back. I jump on the plane,
wow.
Back in London.
Close a deal.
I've closed my deal, I was at Barcelona. This will happen many in my time. I tell people I've been to Paris many times, and all I know is my clients, their offices. I have 3 clients in Paris. All I know is their offices. Everything else is the airport. But the day will come when I can go to Paris and I can get a week in Paris.
Yes, exactly.
It's all that sacrifice. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all of that goes with that collaboration.
Yeah. You've mentioned the word belief system, I don't know how many times in this short conversation. And do you think that as Africans, we believe that it can be done?
That's a tough question. Let me put it this way. As Africans and as an African, me, Andrew, I know it can be done. So I do it every day. How do I do it? I do it by creating a belief system for myself. You see, your belief system is also part of your challenge structure. So you challenge yourself to excellence. You take mediocrity out of your life. Mediocrity is clutching at straws, making excuses, blaming the tools, blaming the guy next door, whatever. You take all that out of your life. And as they say, all die be die.
Yes.
Right?
Go for it.
You go for it.
Yeah.
You just stick to the plan. David stood in front of Goliath. He had two options.
Yes.
Either Goliath goes down or he goes down, and Israel goes down.
Yes.
So his belief system is he will bring Goliath down.
Wow.
And the belief structure is the fact that he knows the Lord is with him. So I think that as Africans we will do it. I personally think that this is our time. I've been saying this, the Kwame Nkrumah Africa he talked about, the unification of Africa is our generation that we're doing, and it's now.
Wow.
The days have changed when we said, oh, we are the future. We are now. We are the people of today.
Yes.
We are the new Africans.
Yes.
We will unite Africa through partnerships, through collaborations, through friendships.
Yes.
You understand me? It will not be the political system. We will enable the political system to bring us together under one administrative.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So we will do it. The question is when and how. I believe that men and women have been empowered to do this.
Yes.
Some of them don't even know they've been empowered to do this.
Yes.
All of us doing what we're doing, all of us doing what we're doing, it's all part of that empowerment. That's building that new Africa. Did you see what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm one who doesn't believe the narrative that says that it's difficult for an African to do it. But I recognize that there are challenges out there.
Yes.
There's a community out there.
Yes.
And that community is biased to itself. Naturally so, because we're all biased to ourselves. Did you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's about us collectively and independently and individually making them understand that we're capable. And how do you do that? Your leverage.
Yes.
What's your leverage? Trust.
Yes.
You build a trust system. So you have a leverage, and that leverage means that the world wants to work with you.
Andrew, let me go to Zeepay now.
Okay.
We've stayed on the motivational side for quite some time now, and I'm a testimony of where Zeepay started and where Zeepay is at the moment. Now, a lot of people ask me this question: this guy Andrew, how do you do it? Because I think it's a question that you transcend beyond the normal Ghanaian. Maybe you are not going to see it that way, but probably people sitting from the stands, probably they see it better than you do. You do things differently, and that is why you are where you are now. How do you do it?
Well, I don't know if we do things differently, but there's a standard, Oscar. So there's a world-class standard. Then there's also what we call some form of African standard, you understand? Then there's also the Ghanaian standard. I think the world-class standard is an amalgamation of many standards. One of them, I always tell my colleagues, this business is first service delivery, the people, compliance, technology. It's not technology first. Technology is just an enabler. So if our service delivery is responsive and the people are responsive and our compliance is intact, the technology will give us a delivery.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can have the delivery without all of this. The customer will have a bad experience. I think it's about putting your customer first. I think one thing we do around this part of the world is we tend to be, for lack of a better word or statement or way to put it, we tend to be like a discount. We tend to assume a lot.
Yes.
But hey, the customer doesn't want to assume.
No.
They just want to have a complete end-to-end experience.
Yes.
And if in that experience there's a friction, tell them, they'll work with you. But where there's friction and you don't mention it to them, then there's a problem. I think that's been the bane of our success, to be honest.
Wow.
Of course, I mean, I always tell you, for me, it's first God. I planted Apollo's water, God caused it.
Yes.
You know what? That's my belief system.
That's your belief system. Yes.
I personally, Oscar, do not think it's possible for a group of young people. Our average mean age is about 23, 24. A group of young people cannot come together and punch above their weight and compete on a global scene and be successful at it. There must be something else.
Yes.
I think that something else is God. And His mercy, He shows us the kindness.
Yes. Yes, exactly. But you talked about service delivery. Zeepay does it so well in terms of being responsive to customer demands. Now, I've seen young people starting business and they are chasing funds, they are chasing projects, but they are not really giving that special experience, service delivery to the customer. Is it one of our biggest bane or one of our biggest challenges?
Well, I think that as a people, service efficiency is it's everything. And we need to make service efficiency the number one thing. Whether it is fintech processing transactions, of course, you know, as a fintech, the transactions have to be frictionless. That's why we always say a proper fintech, its rail must be able to reverse a transaction. If you can't reverse a transaction, your rail is wrong. Because then at that point, you're not frictionless. You have to be frictionless so you can enable me to reverse. Now, efficiency, it's a behavioral and cultural trait, and I think it starts from the leadership. I don't know if I'm efficient, but I'm very customer-centric. And for me, my customer comes first. I'd rather in a meeting, everybody's on their phone, dealing with a service issue, than sitting in a 2-hour meeting and the client is suffering.
Yes.
It's as simple as that, and that's our culture. Respond now. Now. Everything about us is now. We even have something called a noun book, where you record in the noun book.
Wow.
It's now. It is now.
Wow. Now, where Zeepay is now, people think you have arrived, and in this situation, you are more likely to really sit in your comfort zone, thinking that, look, where we are now, because when I look at Zeepay campus, it's one of the best in town when it comes to telecoms or rather fintech or even big corporations. Look, you are on the modern scale of business, sitting right in Accra here. Now, is there room for improvement for you? Are you going to drive to what level do you want to reach that you think you are now satisfied?
Well, first of all, I think that we've barely scratched the surface. We've just done about 10%.
Wow.
So there's room for improvement.
Improvement.
That has not even lied to ourselves, and that is not thing that we finished. In terms of me, my personal attainment, my whole life dream is to ring the bell.
Wow.
So
New York Stock Exchange?
Yeah, or Dow Jones. I mean, whatever it is, we'll ring the bell and we'll do an IPO. Now, if you're going to do an IPO, then you need to be big. You need to be strong.
Yes.
So it means we have to do more.
Well,
I would love to do 3 listings, Ames, New York, and then do Joburg, of course, and even do Ghana.
well,
Get on the Ghanaian boss. So for us, that's the journey. In terms of what we do, the world is our oyster. The objective is to be able to terminate across the world. Because there's an immigrant everywhere.
yes.
There's an immigrant sending money back home.
Exactly.
So why not? Do you see what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. Since inception, we've served about, I think, 5.8 or 5.9 million customers.
Wow.
And can only get better. Oscar.
It can only get better.
We've only
Yes.
scratched the surface. I mean, look, we've only touched 20 markets in Africa. There's 54
Yes.
markets. There's the Caribbean, there's Latin America, right? There's the US itself, because there's also reverse immigrants. Then there's also the domestic play.
Wow.
There's Europe, there's UK.
Wow.
So I think the next 10 years are the exciting years ahead of us. Out of the 10 years, we will categorize them into 2, and make sure that every 2 we have some milestones. Leave monuments behind.
Wow. Where did you get this mindset from? This mindset of, because you see, I see a lot of businesses that start like yours, but they become local champions. They don't transcend even beyond the borders of Ghana into Africa, not to talk about even the global space. But UK now is operating in the UK, Europe. You are now in 20 countries in Africa. You are planning to go to the Caribbean. Where did you get this mindset from? Because it looks like you are driven in a way that, to be honest, I think a lot of young people should really have the opportunity to really meet you, because you really disrupt the African mentality of, oh, I've got it small. Let me deal with this way with my family. But you are going when people even think you are already successful. That is a different mindset, isn't it?
Well, I think first of all, my ecosystem is part of it. So it's interesting you bring this up. Actually, I grew up in a very small community. It's called South SM, and we call him chairman, right? We had a great guy called Enlighten who would lead us into this can-do spirit. As a community, we had our own club, was called International Friendship Society. We used to do bobby job, we used to do bazaars, and we would cook food and we all come and have a bazaar.
Wow.
We used to go for picnics, we used to go for excursions, we used to raise money. So at the age of 7, 8, this is the life we lived, right?
Wow.
But little did I know that it would have an impact as we went along. I think my parents themselves also were ones that encouraged you to go for what you want to do. I mean, at the age of 6, 7, I used to stand on a stool and fry my own plantain chips.
Wow.
You can't make me hungry. You understand? No. It's not in my DNA to be hungry. So I think they all contribute to it. And I'm probably even schooling as well. Community of friends, the kind of friends I probably had growing up. We also believe that it can be done.
Yeah.
Or you surrounded yourself with people who believe it can be done.
Yeah.
I spend most of my time with people who show me the way rather than people who tell me it cannot be done.
Yes.
But I also think that you see the generation before us, they built the local companies that would be what you describe as local champions.
Yes.
Right? But they're not in a derogatory way. But they saw the borders. We see the invisible borders.
Yes. That's really deep.
Yeah, no, it is. We're in a digital economy. They were in a physical economy.
Yes.
So they saw the borders. They saw limitations.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't see limitations.
No.
Did you understand me? Look, every day I fly from here to Zambia and I go through Zimbabwe. I stop at the airport. Our business in Zimbabwe is one of my big markets. And I haven't been to Zimbabwe.
Wow.
I always tell my colleagues, you guys better quickly go into Zimbabwe. Did you see what I mean? Because I have every infrastructure I need to be able to do what I want to do. But of course, for whatever it's worth, you also have to touch the pulse of the market.
Yes.
So I don't blame them. It's that limitation they were exposed to. In recent times, I've seen very hardcore local, what we call large and local corporates move into Nigeria. Some of them moved into Ivory Coast, etc. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's really about that. But I also think that our parents, the education they gave us has come to bear. In that we've learned also to cross the river.
Yes.
Using the business models that we've studied or been exposed to in textbooks and abroad. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't fault them. I encourage everybody to look beyond the river.
Look beyond the river.
Look beyond the river.
Yeah.
My colleagues and I went to Ivory Coast before we entered Ivory Coast. And we visited 22 Ghanaian villages.
Wow, in Ivory Coast.
Thank you. I even went to a place called Zimbabwe. I went to Fanti New Town.
Wow.
I actually went to a village that has a Ghanaian school, teaches them Ghanaian curricula, and prepares them for time when they have to go to secondary school.
Wow.
Then they come to Ghana.
Wow.
Oscar, so what are you doing lying to yourself? That this is the only ecosystem you have.
No.
That ecosystem has a business need. They have an economic need. If you go there, you find that economic need and serve
them.
Do you see what I'm saying? And as I travel across Africa, I see it. If it's not a Nigerian village, it's a Ghanaian village. If it's not, it's some African village.
Wow.
Do you see what I mean? Look, the same way, if you go to Kumasi, you have Ayube town.
Yes. Fantini town.
Thank you.
Yes.
So it's the same thing that if you cross the river, you see it on the other side.
On the other side.
I was amazed to find fishermen who actually come to, what's Aston's favorite place? There's the sea town in the western part of Ghana. If I remember, I'll tell you. But they actually come from Ivory Coast by canoe.
Wow. Yes,
Oscar, amazing. They come. Once a week, they will come in and go back.
Wow.
They don't even come by road. Do you see what I'm saying? We met a guy who was in Ivory Coast, the guys who was actually doing even transfer galamsey.
Hey, what's that one?
No, that's very simple. He has his, obviously I won't mention which network, but he has a network and he has mobile money on it.
Wow.
And he sends money back to Ghana.
Wow.
Did you understand me? Do you know that we sit here and use the dollar to do our conversions, but they don't. Oh, wow. These guys do ZOF to city, ZAF to city, shilling to Franco and they. What are we talking about? If you go on the bus route, you'll be amazed how removed you are from the traditional economy.
It's quite interesting.
Yes, I challenge every central banker. If you go on the bus routes across Africa, you'll be amazed.
So what you are trying to say is that there are opportunities, there are ecosystems within Africa that we are not even tapping into.
Yes, we've tapped just 1% of our entire ecosystem, and it's sad that we'll allow foreigners to come in to tap it and build it up. And then we now want to go in there. Go out there, cross the river, find out what's out there, because there's money out there. The money is not only in the bottom, it's not the gold, it's also above the ground.
Wow. Andrew, I just want to really digress a bit, but I want to ask you this question. If you want to answer that, that's fine. Now, I've seen that since I've been in Ghana, the Indian, the Chinese, these foreigners, the Lebanese, they are doing exceptionally well. They are creating communities here in Accra and other regions, and they come in and they are successful. Are they seeing what Ghanaians are not seeing?
Well, somebody will tell you that they have opportunity, we don't. Again, I think we've been around each other for a long time, so you know my views on that. You have to create a belief system. Do you see what I mean? We have to create a belief system for ourselves. Immigrants, every nation, immigrants contribute to building it. Even the United Kingdom.
Yes, even the States.
Even New York.
Yeah.
For crying out loud.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? But as much as immigrants contribute to build it, so do the nationals themselves build the economy too. Do you understand me? So we need a nationalistic agenda. That's why I'm saying that we need to move away. You see, the government system is only designed to create an enabling environment.
Yes.
The government system is not to feed us.
No.
Unless we're socialistic. If we are, I respect that. So we need to have a nationalistic approach. I understand the gentleman who owns Zoomline.
Yes.
He only works with Ghanaian companies.
Yes.
And let's see if there's no other option he has. That's what I'm saying. Do you see what I'm saying? As a company, we all our partners we work with on the local front are local companies. We give local companies opportunity. Do you see what I'm saying? Why do we do that? So that they will grow. Yes. Because we literally started with a zero P&L. Hard as it is for anybody to believe, we started with a zero balance sheet.
Wow.
Yes, we did. In fact, the seed funds we raised got finished before we even started. As you know, our first year of operations, we posted 1.8 million in losses. You understand? And of course, our story is not unique. The only thing is, we probably have a bit of a discipline as well. So I think that the time has come for us to patronize our own and support our own.
Wow.
And in that process, we will build ecosystems that will work. Look, there's a company called iCode in Takrani. We're partners, we support them, monetary and technical. We're going to build the Western corridor together. How far it will go, I don't know, but at least we're taking that giant step.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean? Recently, I like to call them the rich, but it's called Bridge Hub. It's in the inner city. I love that. I love the idea that somebody has decided to go into the inner city and also bring innovation, bring a new thought process. Yes. So we're going to support it. I recently reached out to an ecosystem partner in Kumasi. I just haven't had time to get up and go and see it. For us, whatever we make, we'll give some to our community. Whether the entire community will use our product or not, it doesn't matter.
No.
In time, we'll scale.
Yes.
It's a function of time.
Exactly. Andrew, what does the future hold for Zeepay?
Well, I think for you, future is like 5-10 years. Let me talk about the next 2 years.
Wow.
The next 2 years, we want to control at least 15 to 20% of Africa's remittances into digital. That's 20% of 70 billion.
Wow.
We want to be in the Caribbean. We want to be in Latin America. I want to have full visibility of New York.
Wow.
I love New York. Why? We've decided to stick to the business model. Remittance to digital assets, and we'll build our product out of that ecosystem. And we'll build our efficiencies out of that. We wish our partners well. We wish our competitors well. We'll catch up as we go along, and we'll count the numbers to see. But we're very clear in our mind where we're going. And that's it. It's as simple as that we're going to be one of those iconic companies in Africa that went to the world and stayed in the world.
Wow.
About 10, 15 years ago, the South African companies passed out. They went out from South Africa into the world. Standard Bank became Stanbic in some markets. The brewery, what's it? SAB Miller. SAB Miller left South Africa, came into the world. ShopRite came in, Game came in. We embraced them. We worked with them. We grew with them.
Exactly.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It can be done, isn't it?
It will be done.
Wow.
If they did it, why can't we do it? Do you understand me? They took mercenaries, they went out and they built it. We're building new breeds of people. Look at us, we're young, we're in the UK. We've been in the UK for a while and we've grown. We're in other African countries. I mean, that's just what it is. And then you make sure you serve your partners well. You know, you keep on it, you keep your partners going.
Wow, wow, wow. A lot of young people will be watching this interview. And I want you to tell them something, because some young people think it cannot be done. That is why they are dying on the seas, trying to get to Europe, and they are trying so many ways to get out of the continent. Now, you are an epitome of that story, that African story, that, look, it doesn't matter the challenges that we are having, it can still be done. What are you going to tell that young person?
Well, look, I think first of all, I'm humbled and I'm honored that you feel this way, and I guess in recent times, rightly so, I see comments, I read comments and stuff. But our success is meaningless if we don't carry Africa with us.
Wow.
Do you see? And that's what we wanted. I want to carry Africa with me. I want to carry people with me so that the next set of billionaires that will come from the world and the continent will be us.
Yes.
The young people.
Yes.
Right? So my first thing is write down what you want to do. My second thing is don't challenge yourself that it cannot be done. Rather convince yourself why it will be successful.
Yes.
And in convincing yourself why it will be successful, look at the problem you're seeking to solve.
Yes.
Because when you solve a problem, you stay longer on the scene.
Yes.
Once you've done that, look at the structure and the pillars you need to put in place for that to remain. Don't worry about competing.
No.
Just remain consistent.
Yes.
I would also encourage them to read your book.
Wow.
Because that book has reaffirmed the need for mindset revolution.
Yes.
It's in my own mind, right?
Yes.
Then beyond that, I would encourage those who want to go into business, join a hub, join an ecosystem. Because in the ecosystem, you get different tutorials, guidance, coaching, mentoring.
Ideas.
I would also encourage them not only to join an ecosystem, but also go into these trade unions. So FinTech Association, some kind of technology association, book writers, whatever your trade is, go in there, expose yourself, take the risk, and lastly, maintain the discipline.
Maintain this discipline.
And then hold on to your belief system. And if you find me, I'm happy to help you.
Wow, wow, wow. Maintain your belief system. And I think that is my mantra. It's possible if only you believe. Because if you don't believe, then there is no way you can succeed. No. The first step for you to succeed is to believe.
Yes. Look, Marcus Garvey said this. With confidence, you have won the race twice before you start.
Wow.
It is.
Wow. That is really deep. That is really deep.
Yes.
And I think if you're a young person that is watching us, we want to encourage you that once somebody has really broken that ice, somebody has really gone ahead, the path has already been created. All you need to do is to be innovative about that path. So somebody is selling bread, but what value can you add to that bread for you to be distinct in the marketplace? And I think that is what Zeepay is doing well. Fintech is already there, remittance is already there, mobile money is already there, but Zeepay is disrupting the market by adding value that is attracting people to their space. And that is what you need to do. I always mention the story of Cocoa Cane. All he has done is to add value to that cocoa that you've been drinking since 1900. And he's now a dollar millionaire in terms of that space. There are so many opportunities in the marketplace. So many products and services that are existing, but all they need is a little bit of value that needs to be added. Look, if Zeepay can do it, you can also do it. And I want to encourage you to read my book, Mindset Revolution, Re-Engineering the Mind from Prison to Purpose. And trust me, your success and failure does not lie in what you don't have, but it lies in your mind. If you can succeed it in the mind, you can succeed it in the real world. So I will encourage you that before you start your vision, work on your mind before you start on your vision. Don't go chasing resources. Build the resources in the mind and you will attract anything on the outside. Andrew, it's been nice talking to you.
Same here, Thank you.
Wow, thank you.